that they understand what consequence management is. You work with a number of them in the tech space. Do you think, or are we throwing consequence management away out of the window because we want to be seen as
cool,
connected, cool, inclusive, and all that? Is that the reason we are seeing all these backlashes now from the new generation, or is it a chain reaction?
I think they do. They do. It's. Let me flip it the other way. And I spoke earlier about the more things change, the more they remain the same. There are certain things that hold constant. And I'm glad we mentioned emotional intelligence. Now, when I first started my career, we used to call it interpersonal skills.
Right.
Later on, you HR guys came with Daniel Coleman or something.
Yeah.
We call it
Emotion.
EQ.
We call it interpersonal skill. That for you to be successful at work, the skills to engage, work with people laterally, vertically is important. To engage. So it doesn't matter whether you are brilliant. Do you have the empathy? Are you find the brilliant young person, smart coding guy, or you go to work with someone from operations or someone from finance, and you do not have the basic emotional empathy to understand, the world is not only to be seen by your own lens. Things like that, understanding that there are perspectives. What an engineer sees when I look to the north is different from what an accountant sees facing the south, and that none of those views are complete. Leadership and interpersonal skills tells you that perhaps there is a need to bring perspective together. That's a complete view of the solution, and the solutions are better. So people that will try, whether they are millennials or Gen Z, this whole issue of interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, are things we need to engage our young people. Maybe many of the things people tweet about, maybe with a better emotional intelligence, engagement skills, they could solve the problem internally. And maybe we should not leave our young people to say, you are just a brilliant engineer. How are we going to help people to recognize that being part of a team, which may transcend your function, which means working with other disciplines who may view issues the same way, in a different way, it's not necessarily a problem. And that we will be collectively better for it. And how do you communicate? Sometimes it's also about people, I'm an engineer, but I need to speak a finance language, a market, and I can't just communicate. So how do we get young people to learn skills beyond their function so that they can interface more with others? Maybe those are some of the issues we need to deal with. And I agree, there has to be some form of discipline, because if you don't, the workplace is not a place of chaos, and you can't just do anything right. But those things I think we should help our young people learn: EQ, interpersonal skills, and communication, and understanding that there is something called lens, which may not be complete, because what you see may just be a limited view of what the issues are.
Awesome. And if I may add from my perspective, also in terms of evolution of the workplace, I think more younger people are coming to leadership positions. Right?
If they don't come, they create their own.
And if they don't come, they become the CEOs of their own organization. But let's even take the organizations, the corporates. It shows, because I think that is an issue of failure on part of the organization for not getting them ready for leadership positions and then throwing them into those positions. So I think the message, in addition to all you have said, is to say that leadership is different from ability to achieve results technically. Before we put people into supervisory positions, team lead positions, manager, HOD, director positions, who is getting them ready for those leadership positions? And the war of the generations will therefore continue for as long as people are coming into leadership positions and they're not ready for those positions.
But you know, it's not even a war. The problem is, if you find yourself by accelerated promotion or luck or grace to be there, recognize what you don't know.
Correct.
And find mentors. I'm 27, I'm the CEO of my company. what can I learn from being a good CEO? Because I've not passed through certain things. I've not learned finance. I've not learned HR. I've not learned issues of empathy with people. There used to be a time, for example. So some of those find mentors. I think if you get there and you are not prepared, there will be consequences.
Correct.
And that means that being pulled down. Eventually, you may not be able to manage the success.
So self-development too.
We need it. We all need it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.